Hello everybody, thank you for watching me at late at night, or at least when I post this, because, not gonna lie, this video is gonna be kind of long, so bear with me. I am going to be reading from a script because I cannot memorize all this information, because I need to get it all down for this very special event. Anyways, jumping right into it. In the morning hours of February 23rd, 1945, Marine Captain Dave Severance, aka the commander of East Company, ordered a platoon to occupy the crest of Mount Suribachi, right? Mount Suribachi, the mountain on Iwo Jima. Harold J. Schreier volunteered to lead the platoon that consisted of 40 Marines. Schreier was given a small American flag with a long flagstaff from the transport ship. Oh, wait, I always think the camera's here, but it's really here because this is a different. This is a different device. There's a piece of hair on the camera. So, anyways, it was a small American flag with a long staff polo. Pause. Small, you say? That's right. Not just one, but two American flags were raised at Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima on February 23rd, 1945. Not just the one that we all most commonly know. This one's the first one. The popular one was the second one. And the sequels are actually better than the originals. Anyways, from the in the small American flag with the long flagstaff for the first flag was from the transport ship Missoula. It's like a county in Montana, which that ship was named after, the transport ship. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Missoula. Anyways, they were given that to raise the. He was given that to raise it on Mount Suribachi. The platoon started the ascent at around 8 a.m. Morning hours. There were many Japanese soldiers in the area of their route, but the platoon managed to get there anyways with 0 casualties, but there was little enemy fire. There was little enemy fire, right? Made it to the rim of the mountain after a little enemy fire. Yeah, they made it, not made it to the top, but made it to the rim of the mountain by 8:15 a.m. And so, looking at the script, 10:15 a.m., sorry. Looking at the script, shame moment. Ooh, it's shameful to look at the script. Oh, I have to memorize it. They're shaming me. And the reason why there was little enemy fire was because the Japanese were being bombarded also at the time. Anyways, and they made it to the summit shortly before 10:30 a.m., the summit of the mountain, the top of the mountain, where they found a Japanese iron water pipe, which was sticking out of the ground. So they decide to place the small American flag in it at 10:30 a.m. That's what it said. I memorized it. Right. Anyways, 10:30 a.m. Yes. When the flag was finally planted and raised, it caused all the Marines, sailors, and Coast Guardsmen at the beaches, like in friendly territory, at the friendly occupied territory, and on the ships off the coast of the island, to all cheer. To cheer aloud because of the wow, American flag at the top of the mountain, hooray! And followed after by ship horns being blasted. This alerted some Japanese soldiers who'd been hiding in their cave bunkers, and noticed the men on top of of Mount Suribachi who had slipped by them. So the Japanese started to fire on the Marines. Oh no! But luckily for the platoon, they took them out. They dealt with the situation. And with 0 casualties once more. on top of Mount Suribachi. Oh yeah, they took him out. First U.S. flag raised on Mount Suribachi was a small flag raised at 10:30 a.m. That's the summary. Sentence summary. In bold. But the flag was planted. Anyways. But the small flag that was planted, though having been seen from the men behind the front lines, was too small to be seen by the American soldiers fighting just north of Mount Suribachi to have any morale-boosting effect, which was the intended purpose of the flag raising. Since there was heavy fighting there, they're heavy fighting north on the north side of Mount Suribachi, which the American soldiers needed to see, but the flag was too small that they couldn't be seen. Oh no. That was a problem. Anyways, the heavy fighting would remain for several days, though. The Secretary of Navy, James Forrestal, who'd been on one of the American ships stationed off of Iwo Jima, had decided he wanted to come ashore on the island to witness the taking of Mount Suribachi the night before, February 23rd. When he landed on the beaches of Iwo Jima the next morning, it was shortly after the first flag had risen. So, when his boat landed on the beach, the flag had already been raised a few minutes after, I guess. A few minutes before, I guess. He landed, yes. Seeing the flag made James have a rush of patriotism run through him and ordered the 2nd Battalion, for some reason. The 2nd Battalion, I don't know why he chose the 2nd Battalion, but he wanted the 2nd Battalion's flag to fly above Mount Suribachi instead of that small one, or instead of that one in particular. Yeah, so it turns out I read that wrong. And it meant James Forrestal wanted the flag, the small American flag, that was on top of Mount Suribachi at the time, placed at 10:30 a.m., the first one. He wanted it as a souvenir, and the 2nd Battalion commander, didn't like that. But he had to go with it either way, I guess. So he sent for somebody to get a replacement flag, but I discussed that a few seconds later. Not the correction, just the 2nd Battalion commander thing. James Forrestal did not send for another flag to replace the smaller flag. He wanted the smaller flag as a souvenir. So everything you saw in black and white was incorrect. Thank you. The commander of the 2nd Battalion, Chandler Johnson, ordered one of his lieutenants to fetch a new flag at the beach, and just before the lieutenant left, Johnson called out for him and told... Oh no, I gotta scroll down. Alright, don't mess it up. Meep. 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 Okay, we're good. Whoa. Grammar mistake. Although the fight was still a long... had a long... I want it to be a long ways. There we go. Frick your grammar corrections. Video is already sidetracked. Okay. Back to the point. I mean, I did kind of memorize what Johnson called after his lieutenant for, but just in case if I'm wrong. Johnson told the lieutenant to make it a bigger flag. Did I happen to mention that Chandler Johnson told the lieutenant to get the flag from the beach, by the way. And before he left, well, I'm guessing they were on the ships, before he left, he told them to make it a bigger flag. He told the lieutenant to make it a bigger flag. That's to oppose to the smaller one that was planted on the beach. Anyways, 6 Marines were assigned the duty to plant the larger American flag on Mount Suribachi, along with 3 war photographers that take pictures during wartime. Shocking. Think you could come up with that already by yourselves, War photographers, it only makes sense. They received the flag, and while climbing the mountain, they laid telephone wire all the way up to the location of the first flag for like communication purposes with the people on the ground, sea level. Climbing the mountain, they also encountered the photographer from the first flag raising, Lewry, Lewry. I believe it's spelled. I think he is, yeah, most likely. They encountered him coming back down from the first flag raising. From the peak, raising, come back down. That's all it. They saw him like, yo, what's up? There's some nice shots up there. Boys better get that up there quickly. All right, man. Thanks for the update. Yeah, under 10 minutes long. Hooray. The first flag. The group experienced no enemy fire on their journey, and when they arrived at the top, they were greeted by the Marines who had set up the first flag who set up the first flag originally, hours before, who had taken down and sent back to the beaches. And it was taken down and sent back to the beaches. But not yet. Not until like a few minutes later, maybe. Anyways, when they reached the summit, when the 6 Marines and 3 war photographers reached the summit, it was around noon, and they planted the second flag, which became iconic around noon, which was just say it's noon. Anyways, the 6 Marines started to plant and sent back down to the beaches. The 6 Marines started to plant the second flag in the iron water pipe, and meanwhile, Joe Rosenthal, one of the photographers, put his camera on the ground so he can pile a stack of rocks on top of each other so he could set his camera up for a good shot of the flag raising. Right? But when Rosenthal saw the Marines, them being the Marines, setting up the flag in the corner of his eye, he quickly spun around, took his camera, and took the shot before they were done. So, almost, actually, I want to do this word for word. Spun around, corner of his eye, spun around, picked up his camera, and took the shot, almost missing one of the greatest, if not the greatest, and most iconic picture in American history, though he didn't know it at the time. Fun fact, he didn't know that would be so famous. He thought it wouldn't because it was rushed. From him, at least. Another of the 3 photographers, William Gnost, took a film, like, a video, instead of a photograph, and that was the video of the raising. Like, the actual physical video of them raising the flag. Sometimes comes in color. I think it actually is in color. I think the original, I don't know if the original video is in color or not, but it's in color now. Hooray. Took a film of the video of the raising. William Gnost and Joe Rosenthal were only 3 feet apart from each other, making almost the same angle that we know from their 2 pieces of media, or content, or media pieces. That's good. The screen went dim, when you don't touch it for a while. Anyways, almost missing one of the most greatest. I'm just trying to look for the other photographer, Bob Campbell, just took pictures, I guess. I'm just kidding. I crossed that out. Bob Campbell, the other photographer, restated, took a lesser known picture of the Marines from the original flag raising. Of the Marines from the original flag raising, handling the first flag, because it was just taken down. While in the background, the first flag being planted. While the first flag was being planted by the new Marines that came in. Picture right here. That's the picture. Told you. It's exactly like I told you, Got the Marines from the first flag raising. And in the background, the Marines from the Marines setting up the flag. pretty cool. So now you know what's happening on the right side of that famous photograph. They were handing the smaller flag because it had just been taken down and hadn't been sent back to the beaches yet. But just so you know, they sent it back down to the beaches shortly after that. Anyways, being planted. But to the serious part. 2 out of the 9 people present at the first flag raising died during the battle of Iwo Jima. Both were Marines, so first flag raising, 2 people in this shot, but not make it through the battle, unfortunately. Then, 4 out of the 9 people present at the second flag raising, excluding the Marines who were already there from the first flag raising, if that makes any sense to you, follow along. So the new guys, the new 9 guys, the 3 war photographers, 4 out of the 3 war photographers and 6 Marines, right? The 9 people. So 4 of the 9 people present at the second flag raising died during the battle. 3 were Marines and 1 was a photographer. Sadly, that photographer was William Gnost, the one who took the video of the second flag raising. But fun fact, though, the winds at the peak of Mount Suribachi were so strong that part of the second flag ripped off, and that's how it's teared up today, and that's why it's shot straight up when raised in the film that William Gnost took before he died. Like he died on March 3rd, 1945. So he died during the battle. Machine gun fire. It sucks. Body was never recovered. You can research that later, though. Maybe I can tell you about it if you want to know. Anyways, so yeah, William Gnost, one of the photographers, died, and 3 other Marines that were raising the second flag of the first photograph died as well. And 2 of the Marines. Wait, the second flag raising here? And second Marine. And 2 Marines of the 9 people, including the photographer, of the first flag raising, didn't make it through the battle of Iwo Jima. It was a very bloody battle. Very. Anyways, so yeah, high winds, strong winds at the peak of Mount Suribachi ripped off part of the flag, and that's why it's teared up today. If you look at any image from it at present day. And that is why if you look at the video, the flag shot straight up, like there's no like wrinkles or anything. It wasn't like dangling in the wind. It was like straight up, right towards the right angle. And so that's why it shot up as soon as the flag pole was put up. Overall, the second flag raising achieved its original purpose: to inspire hope and pride in the American soldiers below, fighting with their all, though the fight still had a long ways to go. Thank you for watching this video. 80 years ago, that iconic flag photograph, the iconic second flag raising photograph and video was taken, and I also had to inform you about the first flag raising, of course, because we can't forget about that, even though everyone already does. So that is the history of that one day. More to you all next time. Pressing the button. So sorry.